New from 101 Films and their partnership with AGFA is Jungle Trap, which comes with the bonus movie Run, Coyote Run. This is another James Bryan movie. Recently they released Lady Street Fighter with Rennie Harmon, which was really kind of fun and energetic. And again, we travel back into lost movie idea. We know James Bryan shot this in 1990. It kind of got lost, never seen the sight of day until Bleeding Skill found it, managed to re-edit it, add a score and released it in 2016. And Jungle Trap is one of those kind of lost shot on video movies that has some admirable traits about it.
Edward. Look at that.
Now it is one of those movies that has not the best production design, that has not the greatest actors. It has some shoddy ways of telling its tale and some ramshackled ways of trying to create a bigger looking budget than it actually had, but it does have something going for it, and that is a remarkably fun story at the heart of this one that kind of offers up a great deal of atmosphere and excitement and a little bit of weirdness that I really enjoy, and a movie that had some really fantastic editing that offered up some scares and some almost abstract moments of terror, which I really did like a lot. The basic story here is about a bunch of scientists travelling to a jungle to try and find a treasure of sorts. There is another story there about a previous crew that has gone missing, about a tribe that can turn its victims into zombies and make them kind of do their bidding, and ghostly hauntings and weird stuff like that. And it just kind of throws it all into the mix. Now for the first 20 minutes, half hour of the movie, it can be a little bit grating, a little bit slow and a little bit dragging, because it's not the best production values, it's not the best idea of a story. It's kind of easing us in there. When we get down to the jungle, it really kind of jumps the shark, I suppose, because it becomes incredibly fun and just endearing from that moment onwards. I was truly in love with the kind of idea of this story. Again, it's all about mind games and spiritualness and some ghostly weirdness that all kind of mixes together in this hotel within the jungle that may or may not exist, with people that seem to be there and not be there, people that kind of transform into tribal figures and then back to what we assume is their normal visage. It becomes just a weird mind trip of a movie, and I think a lot of the fun parts about this is the sort of synthetic score that's been added onto this, with a tribal beat kind of pulsating all the way through it. From the kind of trippy editing that's added in here to kind of enhance the atmosphere and the weirdness of the movie. The kind of campy and over the top acting in certain scenes just goes to highlight the weirdness of this movie, creating such an odd tone that it can't help but be enjoyable. Jungle Trap was actually a movie that I was curious where it was going. I was hooked on the movie to see what was going to happen next. It was interesting, and a lot of times these low budget shot and video movies can be a little bit indulgent, a little bit amateurish, of which this can be at times as well, but they never really have a great story to tell. This one has a really good story, and it kind of achieves that level of weirdness that it's after. I kind of like Jungle Trap. It's one that I would go back to again. I think it was a really fun and engaging film. One of the extras on this disc is Run, Coyote Run, which is a whole other movie, as they did with Lady Street Fighter, and we got Revenge of Street Fighter as an extra. We've got this here. Run, Coyote Run is a ramshackled editing oddity because it encapsulates a lot of footage from Lady Street Fighter. It takes some footage from Hell Riders, and I'm sure there's some footage from other movies that James Bryan's done as well. Just kind of lumped in there are movies that he's half made that are kind of flung into this one, and it never quite connects because it's stealing from all over the place, but it's an interesting experiment that somehow manages to almost pay off, but because of previous knowledge of the other movies, it never quite landed 100% for me. Again, we get Renee Harmon as the star of the show as a psychic police officer.
You know I'm a psychic.
I'll never know why they saddled me with a psychic female cop.
Who has these visions of what is basically her younger self in Lady Street Fighter as they're trying to track down a killer of sorts.
When are you going to shine your shoes? When are you going to put on a 3-piece suit? When are you going to get respectable?
And it feels very similar, as it will do, to the plot of Lady Street Fighter, because like I said, it's carrying a lot of that movie to do the heavy lifting here with additional scenes to kind of add to it. And you've got what is a strange constructed story that's edited in a kind of off fashion, that's padded out, that feels just odd and different, and has a kind of craftsmanship about it that I appreciate, even though the movie I did not like. Coyote Run was a little bit bloated, a little bit over familiar, because I'd seen Hell Riders, I've seen Revenge and Lady Street Fighter, and those kind of clips put into this was the bulk of the running time, and the additional new stuff was fun to see how they intercut various sequences from new footage to the older footage, which was, like I said, interesting. Not one I would rush back to. Jungle Trap, great. Let's jump in and just have a look at what other extras it has on the disc. So here we are on the disc of Jungle Trap. We are going to go into the extras. We have a main commentary with director James Bryan, star Heidi Hahn, and the Bleeding Skull team, the team that helped restore this movie to its now wonderful glory, and it's really full of a lot of information and just marvellous to hear how they went about recreating this film. Next up we have It's Not My Fault, the making of Jungle Trap, which is just about 11 minutes, talking to director James Bryan, looking through some of his little collection of, well, film that he has stored at his house. We then have 4 minutes of outtakes from Jungle Trap, and then curiously we have HorrorCon from 1989, surviving footage from James Bryan's unfinished horror movie. This is about 29 minutes in length, and just, you know, great idea. Horror at a horror convention. It's just a shame it never kind of came to fruition. And of course the bonus movie Run Coyote Run, which we've talked about. And that's that for this disc. So there we have it. If you were a fan of, say, effects or Lady Street Fighter, which won when films released, I would strongly recommend picking up Jungle Trap. Although I did not think that Run Coyote Run was that great a movie, I thought Jungle Trap was well worth the price of admission just to see that one, especially if you like these kind of low budget shot and video movies that never quite found its audience at the time. I think when the one are doing a great job. Can't wait to check out the McPherson tapes next. Hopefully I'll get that review to you soon. I'd love to know what you thought of this movie. Are you interested in picking it up? Have you seen it before? What do you think of James Bryan? Let me know in the comment box your thoughts. And as always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my videos if you so wish. And if you want to click that like button, magic happens. And of course, if you want to support me just that little bit extra, you can go to Patreon or the membership program and support me for as little as 99p a month, which really does help this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.